Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, May 16th, 2023. This is the second meeting of the month for the hearing officer for City of Tempe. My name is Vanessa McDonald. I'm the hearing officer, so I will be conducting the hearing this afternoon. I'm going to read something into the record, and then we'll go ahead and jump into our very brief agenda this afternoon. The City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and intent of the Zoning and Development Code and Tempe City Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include, but aren't limited to, deteriorated structures or landscaping, inoperable or unregistered vehicles, storage of junk or refuse, or deteriorated swimming pools. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after many attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain voluntary compliance with the code. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, rental agent, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or to authorize the city to abate the property to correct the code violation. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property found to be in violation. On today's agenda, we have 3 items. A previously published agenda had 4 items, but agenda item number 2, the Bryce Davis property, has been brought into compliance. So now we have just a set of minutes from May 2nd, 2023, and 2 property abatements. Any property owner who's aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on May 30th, 2023. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they may also be appealed to the Superior Court. A property owner has 14 days to either file an appeal or bring their property into code compliance within this 14-day appeal window. If neither of these things happen within the required time frame, the property will be abated by the city. Joining me this afternoon from Community Development to my left are Cassidy Hernandez and Drew Yoakum. Thank you for being here and for helping out today. As I mentioned, the first item on the agenda is a set of minutes from May 2nd, 2023. Cassidy sent those minutes to me shortly after the hearing, and I think they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the minutes from May 2nd, 2023. I previously mentioned agenda item number 2 is now in compliance, so we'll move to agenda item number 3. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Regal property located at 2127 South Ventura Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Code Inspector Hector Heredia. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer McDonald. My name is Hector Heredia, last name spelled Heredia, and I am a Code Compliance Inspector with the Code Compliance Division for the City of Tempe Community Development Branch. I am here this evening to request a 100-day open abatement for the property located at 2127 South Ventura Drive within the City of Tempe's jurisdiction at 85282. This case is a week shy of a year and initiated on May 24, 2022 for junk trash debris, a deteriorated and rental landscaping with overhang coming through the front yard and dirt and graveled areas, including bad smells or putrid odors. Since the case was initiated, anonymous complaints have continued to be filed regarding the deteriorated state of the location. And due to the lack of communication with the property owner, corrective action or maintenance and citations, I am here requesting the abatement approval. These are my findings for this particular case. On 5/24/2022, Code Compliance received anonymous complaints regarding bad odors, including junk and debris, deteriorated landscape at a rental property, consisting of overhigh grass and weeds through dirt/graveled areas. At the time of the inspection, I noticed that the property did have deteriorated rental landscape, and other violations were added to the notice. These concerns were verified, and the first notice was mailed to the property owner and to the tenant. A short time later, on 6/8/2022, at the second inspection, no corrective action had taken, and the final notice was again mailed to the property owner and to the tenants. Shortly after that, on 6/23/2022, an extension was requested by the tenants, who also disclosed that the property owner was having some personal issues and some time was needed to recover. So we did grant a short extension to see what could be accomplished, and on 7/12/2022, based on progress and ongoing issues, another extension was granted. Later, on 8/22/2022, a first citation was issued after the property owner could not bring the property into compliance. Several extensions had already been granted, but the property could not be properly maintained and kept in compliance. The citation then defaulted after a 14 appeal period through the courts, which was not contested. A short time after that, on 9/27/2022, a second citation had to be issued for the same reasons. Property could not be maintained and continued to be out of compliance. And again, that second citation defaulted. On 10/26/2022, management spoke with the property owner and provided a 3-week extension based on a local irrigation scheduling and some, just issues with trying to get the irrigation going properly, and then providing some, window for the grass to start to grow. And on 11/17/2022, management again tried to reach the property owner, who stated more time was needed, and a short extension was then granted again. Closer to the end of the year, on 12/27/2022, after multiple failed attempts to reach the property owner or contact initiated by a responsible party, a third citation had to be issued for the same ongoing issues. And again, that particular citation defaulted after the 14-day appeal period that the court provides, which was not contested. Into 2023, on 3/27/2023, anonymous complaints continued to come in regarding the deteriorated state of the property. On 3/28, after multiple failed attempts to reach the property owner, citations, the abatement packet was turned in for today's hearing officer, May 16, 2023, and 2023, regarding the property 2127 South Ventura Drive within the city's jurisdiction, A5282, regarding a deteriorated landscape, including junk, trash, debris. At this point, I'd like to show the photos of the most recent state. These photos were approximately taken at 10:35 this morning, and can...
Okay.
This is a diagonal view of the property, where we can see that there is overhigh grass in here through dirt or graveled areas, including on the opposite side of the driveway, where you could predominantly see overhigh grass and weeds here on the border, including throughout the landscaping here. Although this is a bit of a dark photo, in this general area here is where we can see all of the items that were improperly stored. This is a better view of that particular area from a different point of view, which clearly illustrate that there is some deteriorated screening where there are items behind it and can be seen from public access points. We can also see that there is some deteriorated landscaping throughout this photograph. This is another photo of the opposite side of the driveway where we could see that the deteriorated landscaping over height grass and weeds starts from the top of the sideway all the way back to the property onto the front yard walls. This is another photo of the opposite end of that driveway again on the right-hand side where we can clearly see the overheight and deteriorated areas where landscaping needs some maintenance. Again, here's just another perspective of deteriorated areas with overheight grass and weeds. And here is a tree stump that is also part of the case that will be removed, included with the overheight grass and weeds that is at the base of the photo.
Thank you. I think in one of the pictures I saw that the right-of-way was beginning to be encroached by a tree, so that will be taken care of, correct?
Yes, we will trim the tree so that it doesn't obstruct the sidewalk. As long as the portions that we will be clearing are deteriorated, there will be no issue.
Okay.
Everything else that begins to impede the sidewalk will be cleared under the code 21-3B8 as a deteriorated landscape.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Yocum, is anyone on the line wanting to speak on this item?
No, ma'am.
Okay. I'll note for the record, there's nobody here except for City of Tempe staff this afternoon, so there's no one here wanting to speak on this agenda item. Well, I think the city has been very generous with this property owner. I mean, going back almost a year and extension after extension, I mean, multiple extensions have been given. And with no avail, I mean, with no results. So I do agree with your assessment of the property. The photographs kind of speak for themselves. So I'm going to grant your 180-day open abatement request contained in case CE 223161 for the property located at 2127 South Ventura. Our next item on the agenda is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the First Key Homes property. This property is located at 3204 South New Vista Lane. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented again by Code Inspector Hector Heredia.
Thanks again, Madam Hearing Officer McDonald. As previously stated, my name is Hector, last name spelled Heredia, pronounced Heredia, and I would like to take a minute to apologize for not being able to withdraw this case in a timely fashion after the property was brought into compliance. All pending violations of deteriorated landscape at a residential property as well as a rental, including items that were loosely laying throughout the front yard, have been taken care of and no longer in violation.
Okay, thank you. So then you're just withdrawing it altogether?
I am withdrawing due to lack of time to submit the dismissal.
Okay, thank you. Well, then there's no action required on my part. It's a simple withdrawal. So, well then, thank you.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
That concludes our agenda this afternoon. Mr. Yocum, any announcements?
Just the one, Madam Hearing Officer. Our next scheduled hearing is set for Tuesday, June 6th. That will be at 5 p.m., held here in the City of Tempe Council Chambers, as well as live on Tempe 11.
Great, thank you. That said, we're adjourned. Have a good night.